All right, so we're going to take a little break from division to wrap up some multiplication concepts. On this day, we're using multiplication to compare. And at first, there are actually three kinds of multiplicative comparison. There is multiplicative comparison where you know the small amount and they tell you how many times, like 3 times as much, and you have to figure out the bigger amount. So you're looking for this piece. So Lisa has, $4. Joe has 3 times as much as Lisa. How much does Joe have? There's also multiplicative comparison where they tell you the two amounts, right? So Lisa has $4. Joe has $12. How many times as much does Joe have than Lisa? So where they're asking you for the times as much. And then the hardest one is the one where they're looking for the smaller amount. So when they say Lisa has some money, we don't know how much. Joe has 3 times as much as Lisa. Joe has 12. That one's really hard for kids because they hear 3 times as much and they want to multiply Joe times 3 and say 36, except for the sentence was Joe has 3 times as much as Lisa. That means Joe is bigger. Joe has 3 times as much. So these are the 3 kinds of multiplicative comparison we're going to do on this day and the next day. And the biggest thing you want to make sure you emphasize is that we're thinking about which one is bigger and which one is smaller. We're really keeping those carefully separated in our minds as we go so that if we need to work backwards, we'll work backwards. For this day's slide, though, they're not going to need to. On this day, they're contrasting multiplicative comparison with additive comparison. So, what are some ways to visually represent comparison problems? One thing we do sometimes is we draw bars. So we say, okay, I've got this bar, it's 4, right? And I've got this bar, it's 5. And when I compare them, I can talk about the difference. Like this bar is 1 more, right? That's what you did in second grade or third grade. You would talk about more and less. But now we're going to talk about not just additive or comparison, where there's more or less, but we're going to talk about multiplicative comparison. Sorry, guys, I'm using my finger for all of this because my pen broke. So we're doing multiplicative comparison, and the words you're going to hear are times as many. So you might say Lisa has 4, right? Joe has 3 times as many. And what you're going to do is you're going to take Lisa right here and you're going to draw it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. This is a different kind of comparison because we're not going to draw the little line like we did back in 3rd grade. We're going to instead see how many of these are inside here. So if this is 4, we have 4, 4, and 4, 3 times as many. This is 12. So we're going to use bar models, and we're probably going to put a little times here to show that it repeated 3 times. So let's do this one. We're going to choose a number, and then we're going to model 4 times as many. And so teachers, choose a number. 2. 4 times as many is going to be 2, 2, 2, 2. We're going to take this, we're going to draw it 4 times. That's 8. And now we can write a sentence. 8 is 4 times as much as 2. And it's really important, teachers, that you write these sentences because this is where kids get confused if it says Joe is 4 times as much as Lisa or Lisa is 4 times as much as Joe, right? Here, 8 is the biggest. 8, we can say equals 4 times the 2. We could also put this sentence in a different order. 4 times as much as 2 is 8, where the is 8 goes here. That's still 4 times 2 is 8, right? So both of these sentences are correct, and both of these equations are correct. What if I'd asked you to show 4 more? You would have said 2, and 4 more than 2 would be 2, and then adding on 4, right? We didn't do 4 more, we did 4 times as many. So do this one, right? Draw the picture, fill it out, write the sentence. Only this time you're going to use Patrice and Bruce, right? Like Patrice is 5 times as much as Bruce. And then you go through and, oh, here's another one just for extra practice. When you do these, one of these is additive and one of these is multiplicative, and it's good for them to just have to read and try to draw, because they're really needing to read like for clarity, right? Otherwise, these problems are a bit easy and they get into this habit of just multiply the numbers I see, multiply the numbers I see. We want them to be thoughtful, and so they're going to draw a model for each of these problems. And look, I kept that one short because I knew that I had talked forever in the last one.